bringing a healthy lead to a precious body. And as always, before you purchase any herbs from T-Cell, make sure you consult your physician or our medical provider. Just be careful taking herbs due to contraindications of current medications, and also allergies, and if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. In this episode, I wanted to just kind of give an update. Well, I'll do the update later, but for as the way I pretty much approach making T-cell blends for particular teas that are formulated using TCM, traditional Chinese medicine method, in aside with, connected with Western and Ayurveda techniques. In Chinese medicine, of course, you approach it through different types of methods and principles. I'm just going to try to touch upon the primary and secondary. In this particular episode, I'm going to touch on the primary approach using yin and yang, or you might hear people say most times yin and yang. Simply yin and yang is simply in Western terms, is referred to more of a homeostasis, and equilibrium in this situation, your body, or in herbal medicine or Chinese medicine, we like to use the word balance. Homeostasis, bringing a balance to the body. And yin and yang kind of have different types of techniques in how they work, and dealing with the body, dealing with the earth, dealing with a person's mood, colors, seasons, what have you. When we speak about yin yang, we can see how they work in maybe 4 different ways. One being opposition, interdependency, intertransformation, and mutual. These are the ways that they actually work together. We can cover first the opposition, and just to kind of cover yin being, when we speak of yin, we have these different characteristics that oppose or opposition to yang, which yin can be referred to of the earth, whereas yang being referred to as the heavens. Yin can be cold, whereas yang is hot. We also have yin. If you're in a yin situation or yin position in your body, you can have create some type of dampness, whereas in yang, you have equate to more energy. Internal organs are related to more yin status, and yang is more external organs, and also the fact of descending and ascending, that's getting more into how diseases and ailments affect the body. And also yin can be more inward and yang can be more outward, and these two kind of work in what we call in the way they work together in an oppositional manner. Just like we would take yin as being inward or yang being outward. And as we stated, yin is more of a colder dampness, yang being more hot. So, for example, yang, if you have excess yang, you might have sort of a fever. And anytime you have a fever, the thing you want to do is bring it outward, which is also one of the descriptions for yang, if that makes sense. The next, we're going to talk about interdependency. Depending on, and when we talk about interdependency, we speak of yin being more related to the blood, and yang being more related to the qi, what we call the energy, or you can call it the qi. Basically, blood, of course, is the life of the body, but in order for the blood to move, it has to be created by some form of energy. So that's another way of what we call interdependency, of how yin and yang work together. Yin being the blood, yang being the energy, the qi that moves the blood throughout the body. The next, what we call, is transformation with yin and yang, and this is kind of almost like when we balance a formula, balance an herbal formula. And what I mean by intertransformation, meaning it's more of a vice versa. Yin can turn into yang, and yang can turn into yin. Cold can turn into hot. Hot and can turn into cold. And an example of that is if sometimes if a person has a cold, it can sometimes it can turn into a fever. So again, that's another example of intertransformation, meaning yin turning into yang, or yin being a cold person having a cold, and yang, the person accumulating sort of a fever. And then the next that we have, the fourth one that we have is called mutual, a mutual type of relationship between yin and yang. Um, um, and when we deal with that, we deal with what we call in Chinese medicine full, or you might hear the word excess, or empty, or you might hear the word deficient or deficiency, empty, deficient or deficiency. And these are kind of related to, I give you sort of some examples. If your body is full of yin, which means is excess, it may say the word full, or it may say excess, but if it's excessive in yin, then one of the examples you might feel is, well, like in your body, like water retention, and you might get fluid build up, edemas and things of that nature. Your body's being filled up, your lungs are not clear. And if that's the case, then we will probably put some type of herbs, that what we would call warming herbs, to kind of decrease or bring a balance from the excess of the cold, or the water retention. The next would be what we call an empty yin, or a deficiency, which can cause sort of like a weakness. You might have a problem sleeping, your stamina's low, you might feel cold. Uh, what we would use for that case, we will put some type of herbs that will help with, that will be classified as cold nature herbs, or neutral herbs, neutral heat, right? Um, in that way, if your body's weak, then we give you some cold herbs to kind of it's almost like bringing the temperature up, right? And then we'll kind of give you some type of mutual heat herbs, so that you can pretty much bring your stamina up. Because again, like I said, when you have empty yin deficiency, you kind of get weak. So we want to bring your stamina up. And all of this I'm speaking of is how we approach a formula and bring in a balance, right? The next, we don't talk about yang, full and empty yang. Full meaning excess yang, and empty yang meaning deficiency in yang. Full yang being excess, meaning excess heat, right? Now we're getting into what we call fevers and things of that nature. And if your body is in a full yang, meaning excess heat, you can sometimes you can have accumulated body odor. You can start having yellowish material from the body, like we would call mucus or something like that. Or you might have some problems with your bowels, your digestive. It affects your heart, as far as giving you HDN, hypertension, or your blood pressure. These are the type of symptoms if your body is more in a excess yang situation. So again, excess dealing with full, young dealing with too much heat in the body, and of course, if you have too much heat in your body, what we want to do, we want to give you some type of cold nature type of herbs to bring the heat down, right? To kind of balance that off. Then you go into the two empty young. Empty young mean a deficiency in young, which can be the opposite of what? Opposite of the excess of young. The natural description of young being hot. So if you have a deficiency, meaning that you're creating a cold, and that can cause like edemas, or also like digestive problems. A good thing to take for that is if your body's in a more deficiency of yang, you can take more of a blood tonic, um, kind of to tone your yang. If you need to tone your yang, vegetables are good for your yang. And to kind of bring it to the close here, we also speak of, which I'm going to speak of in my next episode, continuing, which will be the secondary method of principle when you're dealing with formulating herbal products, dealing with the TCM type of method. We're dealing with the organs. And in TCM, of course, you have more than 6 organs, but in this situation, we deal with 6 organs, or as you might study, like in acupuncture, acupressure, reflexology, you might have studied dealing with the meridians, the 6 organs of Yin and 6 organs of Yang, meaning there are 12 organs that deals with TCM. In acupressure, we call it the 12 organs of meridians, right? So we're going to get more into that video and breaking down more so how the organ is related to if you're having a deficiency in a particular organ, and also the heightened stage in your life or throughout the day when that particular organ is regenerating itself, when it's at its highest peak. We're gonna, organs have these 12 meridian organs correlate with time, seasons, your mood. I'll give you a quick example. If you're hype, you're overactive, you speak loud, and we might equate that to fire, being fire relating to the heart. So we're going to get more into those 12 meridian hearts and kind of give you an example of the time of day when they're active, also the season, and sort of the symptoms of the body of how you can kind of tell what organs, depending on the person's mood or their sickness or whatever they're having. And again, this all kinds of tie in to when we do consultations. When I do consultations, these are the things that I go back and to make a formula for whatever situation you've given me of we've consulted on. This is things that I go through to kind of make a beautiful formula, tea or tincture or what have you, to help with the issue that you're having. And sometimes it takes months, depends on the person. I like to take my time and make sure that I'm helping the person and not hurting them and not giving them any kind of false hopes, anything like that. But so sometimes it can take a little while because you got to gather all this information and implement all these methods and principles in so that you can make a well-balanced formula, a product for the client. Just a quick updates. But like I said, I will be going to the next one. The first being what we just spoke of, Yin and Yang, and the next will be focusing on the 12 organ meridians. That ties into the methods also. So just to give a quick update on T-Cell and in general, we are excited and soon to be bringing out our next tea blend dealing with menopause. Beautiful tea that's dealing with menopause. And also we're going to be coming one with dealing with rejuvenating after you've had a massage or spa treatment. Those two hopefully will be out by the end of October. And then after that, we're going to be working on the next 2 blends for T-Cell, dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, and also menstrual cycle. When menopause come out, when our tea blend for menopause come out, if you're dealing with menstrual, which we know that's from more of a younger age up to probably like your mid-40s up to your 50s. After 48, 49, 50, you start moving more into menopause. But if you is dealing with menstrual cycles and you want to kind of help alleviate pain and cramps and things of that nature that comes with menstrual, then you probably can purchase the menopause, because pretty much the menopause has only a slight difference in the formulation than the menstrual. But menstrual and menopause seems, gives a lot of similarities in their symptoms or effects. There may be some slight changes in there, but if I'm hoping that the menstrual T-Cell blend is out before this year, But if you wanted to, and the menopause is there for the taking, then you can use that also. It because the menopause, it helps with the cramps. Also, the menstrual helps with the cramps. So until I bring the T cell menstrual or T out, the high blood pressure, diabetes, and I have some other ones coming through. If you go to the website, you'll see some what I call single targeted formulas. And what I mean by that, when I say my formulated T cell blends, those are the ones that I use a variety of of, of uh, herbs and teas and spices and things of that nature to target, bring a balance, which means it not only targeting one thing, but it's targeting different elements, whether it be what's causing the problem, and like what we call the branch and the root. So, in essence, the formulated ones brings a balance because in herbal treatment, what can happen is you can try to correct one thing, and if you don't do it right, and it's not a balance, then you can throw something else off. That's just how the body works there. So when we do formulas, we make sure if we're dealing with this, we want to make sure we're not unbalancing something else that's connected. And that goes more into when we talk about the organs and the meridians, the 12 organs, the 12 meridians, because when we say the 12, there are two organs that matches up with each other. If one is off, then if one is if you can fix one, but you can throw the other one off if you don't properly handle it correctly. So that is what I mean by formulated. But we do have some that are specifically targeted, meaning, for example, like if you have a migraine, um, uh, we have something that can kind of a simple tea for tea that can help with migraines, right? If you go to the website www.teacls.com, you can see those. I think I have one for stroke, but I am working on that right now. I have to kind of fix that up a little bit. Um, so yes, so those are the things that are coming up, and my major, the most exciting one I'm working on is for cancer, and I'm taking my time with that one to make sure that one is properly introduced to you guys. So that is kind of an update. Of course, I got my business number 844. Let's see, Cell T CELLTEA 844 235 5832. So just call that number if you have any questions or for consultations. Hopefully, with this platform here, hopefully soon, if anybody that has knowledge about teas and herbs and things of that nature, if they give me a call, if they wanted to come on and teach, I'm always willing to learn. I don't, I'm still learning. I have so much to learn. So if anybody wanted to come on here and teach the people, and teach me something, even correct me on stuff, then they're welcome. So I'm gonna start doing that. I'm just kind of very low key with this. It's all about the information for me. I have some upcoming trips coming next year to visit some more tea farms around the world and gaining more knowledge and bringing more productivity and more health to the business of T-Cell, all for the help of the people. T-Cell, bringing a healthy leaf to a precious body, www.teacls.com, phone number 844-235-5832.